In the winter 2022 update releasing in the start, they added 2 additional things that are going to be giving you some extra things for your whole account. One of them being the Pond of Power with the new fishing, which I made a whole video regarding fishing if you want to go ahead and check it out. And the other thing is going to be the Grand Orrery, which is going to be formerly known as the Star Shard. So the Star Shard is going to be this thing that you do see right here. This is an account-based grade system or a skill tree, whatever you want to call it, that is just going to serve as free bonuses for your whole account. This is going to serve similar to something like Mastery or Dragons or whatever, that when you do unlock it, every single character to your whole account just gets benefits. And of course, you can actually just see that there's going to be 120 nodes available, and you unlock them by just using Constellation Key to unlock the major nodes, which unlocks the path for you to unlock the other stats, and you use items like the Celestial Sphere to activate each and every single node. Not gonna go too much in detail, just explaining what is going to be the Star Shard, but yeah, that's essentially going to be how the Star Shard just works. In today's video, I'm going to be just essentially just talking about my personal build, certain things that I just personally like to use. Yeah, just giving some little tips and pointers of certain things that you need to keep in mind. Make sure to drop a like since it does help me out more than you think. Also subscribe, road to 4.6k. Also letting you all know that this is going to be live commentary. This is not scripted. I'm just talking just straight out of the top of my head. So if I do repeat certain things, that's just the way that it is. And the other thing that I just need to mention is going to be in regards to the build that I will be showcasing for myself. This is the Star Shard that I use for the amount of Celestial Spheres that I have. I got 37 Celestial Sphere, and I use this specific nodes just to benefit myself. This is not the best build in the entirety of the game. This is not a build that you yourself should be going for. Just go ahead and just check on which of the stats just benefit you and just go with that one. So, for example, if you want physical damage, then you go into this route. If you want magic damage, then you go into this route. If you want magic find, then you go all the way over here. If you want yourself the biggest amount of light, then you can go all the way until this area. Movement speed is going to be separated into separate areas, so on and so forth. You can actually just see that there's just plenty of things that you can just go for just to see your benefits. Now, there are going to be a couple of important nodes that you need to keep in mind. One of them is going to be the Life's Leech node, which I made a whole video about it. And this node is absolutely broken and overpowered, super easy to obtain, and I will highly recommend anyone to at least have this active. The reason being is because it essentially just gives you a 10% damage life steal that has no cooldown, and it works on every single character. So pretty much every single character becomes a Vampirian Vanquisher increased Revenant, which is ridiculous. Yeah, this is just absolutely broken, and right now is super strong, and I will just recommend anyone to actually have at least this node active. The other thing that I will just recommend you to get is at least get the 2 most important mastery items for the Star Shard. 3 of them if you are going to count this ally right here, the Starry Skyfire. But if you are a starter player and you really want to know how or what to unlock first, so the first thing that I will recommend you to unlock is this node right here, at least one, so you can get the Scorpius ally, which is the best damaging physical damage ally in the entirety of the game when it comes to actually damage. And the other ally is going to be this, the Star Rabble, which is the best speed farming ally in the entirety of the game, granting the best movement speed buff and also a really good +8 base movement speed increase by default. Really good. I would highly recommend you to at least just have those 2 nodes active, unlock those allies, and then you proceed with your own build. Now, this is going to be what I personally like to do. So me personally, what I like to do is just going to be speed farming Uber 11, or just essentially just speed farming dungeons. That's all I do. So most of my characters are going to be built for speed farming dungeons. And since the majority of the characters that I use are going to be physical damage character, so my build is just going to consist of both having high movement speed because I speed farm, and also to have as much damage, physical damage as possible, so I can just kill enemies rather quickly. So kill fast, move fast. The first things that I would like to just always go for is, first of all, always as important, is just to have this node active. And in this node you go all the way down here, where you can just activate the 5+ movement speed, so the first 5+ movement speed. The other nodes that I generally went for is just going to be all the way down here, which actually gives you the other 2 movement speed node, one of them being right here and the other one being right there. So those are going to be the other 2 movement speed nodes. The third one that I went for is going to be the other movement speed node. I wanted to max out the movement speed as fast as possible. That was my main goal for the most part, which is just going to be all the way up here. This is the last movement speed node, granting you a plus 23 movement speed. So I got 19 celestial spheres, so where do I go from here? So first things first, like I just mentioned, I use physical damage characters, so I build my characters for physical damage, my star chart. So I just go all the way over here, which is going to grant me the most amount of physical damage possible. With just 7 celestial spheres is a lot. And then now what are going to be some of the other things that I do have? I have 12 celestial spheres. Where do I go from here? So first of all, I always have these 2 nodes active. Why is that? The reason being is mainly this node, and that is going to be that this node is going to give you a buff that will last for 4 hours whenever you defeat a 5-star boss in the Thunder Uplands. So once you do defeat a 5-star boss in the Thunder Uplands, you get 4 hours of plus 10% more damage. And if you do activate this node, that's an extra 5%, so for a total of 15% total damage increase for 4 hours, and it has no cooldown. So if you feel like, oh, I already spent 2 hours, let me just go into a 5-star dungeon in the Thunder Uplands, kill a boss, and just refresh the 4-hour timer all the way back once again, is really, really good. So the other node that I just going to be having active is going to be in regards to the light. So of course you want to have as much light as possible if you want to grind over 11, because light is armor penetration. So all of the light nodes are going to be this node, this, and this. So these 3 nodes are going to be the one that you want to have active all the time. So generally the first one that I always go for is going to be the 150 light. The other one, of course, is just going to be this node that you do see right here, that is just going to be granting an extra 50 light. Now that I have a total of 35 nodes active, where do I go from here? So there's a couple of things that I can just go for with my own limited resources that I have. I could just go right here to get an extra amount of damage. I could just go all the way over here for 20% more, total life steal, which is overkill. I could go all the way over here for the 3% extra magic find. I could go over here for the critical damage increase. For me personally, what I will generally just go for is just going to be this node right here. But if I had all the 5 remaining ones, so in total there's going to be 5, that I will just generally just go all the way over here. So that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So yeah, those are usually the one that I will go for if I wanted to just maxed out in everything related to speed farming. If not, then as of right now, with the 37 that I have, I will go all the way down here and all the way down here just to get that bit of extra damage output. And not only that, getting this one with whenever you're using a flask to get either an attack buff, defense buff, or healing buff, especially with the attack buff, it's just extra damage. And since if you're speed farming, you should be using flasks all the time, so you should always just have all of those increases in damage. So those are going to be really, really good in terms of just increasing your damage output. And of course, after defeating the first boss, you can actually just see the timer on the top left right there, and this is going to be my new damage output. It's not that much of a difference because I do believe it is going to be 10 to 15% into bonus percentage damage. So when someone just got a count of GG's, but yeah, it's still again extra damage that will last for 4 hours. But yeah, that essentially just going to be covering everything here in this video. I just wanted to do this short little video just as a little bit of a break from doing the other video. I didn't mean to throw that one down, okay. But yeah, as a little bit of a short little break in regards to the gem video, because that is going to be something that is going to take like forever. So like always, just stay tuned on that particular video. That is going to take a while for me to make. That should cover everything. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for taking as always. Leave a like, sub for more content like this, and I hope to see you next time. Take care and keep on hunting.